We go back to Jennifer.
This battle is scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. First, fighting out of the red corner, he weighed in at 146 pounds, holds an undefeated record of 2 wins with 0 losses, and represents Fitness Edge in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, Austin Coleman. And his opponent across the cage to my right, fighting out of the blue corner, he weighed in at 146 pounds, represents Blaylock's IMBM for Oglethorpe, Georgia, and tonight, he is making his mixed martial arts debut, Andrew Sturdivant. Your referee when the action begins is Jimmy Neely.
Jimmy Neely, our referee in this featherweight bout presented by the Valor Hour with Casey Oxendine and Tim Loy. 3 3-minute rounds. Austin Coleman in the camo trunks. Andrew Sturdivant from Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia in the black and yellow trunks. 3 3-minute rounds. Chattanooga, Tennessee. Valor fights 45. Here we go.
And here we go, starting right in his face. Austin Coleman looking for the takedown, closing the distance, but it is Sturdivant up on top here. And he is in mount position. Not a good spot for Coleman, but Coleman continues to move.
Trying to spin to maybe end up on top, but repositioned by Sturdivant.
And I'll tell you this, just as expected, I mentioned this, Chet Blaylock is not going to accept a fight if he hasn't researched the competition, and Sturdivant is showing some great ground prowess. As I say that, though, Austin Coleman, he has the guillotine locked in place here.
Mount position, but still with a neck, and actually he's out now is Sturdivant. On a spin.
And Sturdivant kind of looking to transition maybe to an armbar, but he ends up on his back. Now we will see how the guard of Andrew Sturdivant plays out.
Sturdivant had control of that right arm of Coleman for a moment. Now he goes to the neck. I don't know if this is a position here where you can dig in deep on the neck.
Well, now he's looking for the guillotine. It appears to be somewhat tight. And now he is back on top, throwing for the fences and back to the center.
And look at Sturdivant, he almost ate a punch.
Look at those antics there.
Both guys face marked up.
Yeah, Austin Coleman seems to be a little flush there. We're about halfway through this round. Throws a 1-2. Sturdivant is a debut, but he seems very, very refined here.
No doubt, and confident as well with the antics we saw a moment ago. Chattanooga, Tennessee for Valor Fights 45. Live at flowcombat.com. Vince Ferrar, Casey Oxendine, cage-side.
Coleman with a knee there. But Sturdivant kind of arms down, catches a jab from Austin Coleman and misses. And now Coleman on his back. Now this is not a good spot. We've seen Coleman here before. And looking for the RNC, and that is deep.
Yep.
Sturdivant peeling it off, but will he have time before the lights go out?
And that was set up by the wild shot and ended up giving up his back, and Coleman took advantage.
And we saw Coleman win via knockout from the rear mount position last time. And now he's looking for the finish here yet again.
Oh, can he hang on? It's 15 seconds.
Now Sturdivant peeling it yet again. But his face is flush, Vince.
Under 10, he got loose. He might have bought himself enough time here to hang on, but he's taking punishment. He does hang on, but a strong finish for Coleman to that round.
Yeah, I may give it to Coleman because he was so close to the finish. And I will say Sturdivant has been kind of, I'm not going to say cocky, but very confident with those antics. And it got really close for him right there, man. A couple of close calls.
Well, that wild looping shot that set everything up there at the end in that close, it was just a flailing shot, and then he ended up turning his back to Coleman, and Coleman jumped on it.
Yeah, and a lot to talk about here. You know, I mean, beyond all of the actual moments in the fight, a lot mentally here. You see there, he was on the ground, and you see Austin Coleman looking to capitalize. It looked like Sturdivant was in control. You see a little bit of flush on the face of Coleman, and he's kind of, winging those punches. But here in just a second, you'll see Sturdivant actually swings for the fences and costs that position and ends up with Coleman on his back and a close call.
So what do you think? Was it enough of a strong finish for
I'm
Coleman?
going to give it to Coleman because the finish was so strong.
Close to finishing, did not.
Yeah.
But certainly we'll get credit for that. Jimmy Neely gets round number 2 started. We'll see if there's a little bit more control from Sturdivant or if he's just as confident.
Well, a refined start by both men. A big overhand right by Coleman. And he is looking to finish this fight,
Yeah,
Vince.
he's reckless right now. Just charging in wild. Hands down by Coleman as well.
And I will say this is a fun fight.
Yes.
Now, one thing I don't like is that Coleman's hands are so low. And now Sturdivant with the sprawl. And now Coleman comes back up on top, both men to a vertical base, but still in the grappling range here.
In the stand-up game, do you think one guy has an advantage, or have they been too back and forth?
I don't know, man. I don't think there's much refined striking by either of these competitors. It's kind of a wild card matchup. And look at this.
Yep.
Yeah, now Sturdivant in the mount position. And Coleman's in a tough spot here.
Yep. Tried to buck
Yeah.
Sturdivant off, but now he's eating more shots.
And Coleman's going to have to move. It looks like he's almost out of there. But now Sturdivant back on top. It could be that Coleman is spent.
In amateur ranks, they're going to call it quicker. They're not going to let you take the punishment. Midway point of round number 2, scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. That's Andrew Sturdivant in his debut on top. Austin Coleman 2-0 on the bottom.
And, you know, like I said, this is just kind of making it a fun fight. There's not much refinement here. There's not, you know, it's like both guys kind of whirling their hands on the feet, and then the grappling's kind of tit for tat. Of course, definitely going to have to give it to Sturdivant here in the second. He has been in control for majority of this round.
Yeah, you could tell Coleman didn't like some of those shots he was eating and changed positions.
No, and you see Sturdivant here kind of off to the side. Look for Coleman to burst and try to get on top. But does he have the energy? All right, here we go. Looking for the finish is Sturdivant. We saw him on the receiving end of several choke attempts, and now Coleman on top.
Nice reversal, but full guard for Sturdivant.
You can see both of these guys are very solid grapplers, but they are out of their safety zones here, if you will. You know, they're kind of in that no man's land.
And exhausting for both. Final seconds of round 2.
And now Austin Coleman making a drive here. Sturdivant with that arm around the neck. He needs to watch out for the Von Flew. Not enough time to implement. And I'm going to give that to Sturdivant. That round was all Sturdivant. And we go into the third round, which could also be called no man's land as well. I can tell that both of these guys are breathing deep and making a fun fight.
Well, Coleman has gone 9 minutes before. He did it in his debut against Tyler Howard, and here's a replay case.
Well, you see it there. Sturdivant landing some big shots there, and Austin Coleman in a tough spot. And, of course, you see the corner here. I don't see Jordan Weeks there. Of course, DK, Derek Kennington, not in the corner. He's preparing for his fight there on the pro side of Valor Fights 45. But you do see Chet Blaylock there in the corner of Sturdivant. Mark Law is putting the ice on the right eye. It appears as though Austin Coleman has a little bit of that mascara going, taking a few shots.
This could very well decide this fight with victory on the line, depending on how that very close first round was judged.
Yeah, and you're correct. That first round could have gone either way. I gave it to Austin Coleman because of the later portion of the round, but if you're in the corner of Coleman, you're going to say, man, we need a finish.
Yep. And they will touch gloves and start the third and final round. And there's featherweight bout at 145. Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Oh, and Coleman draws first blood here. Oh, and a response by Sturdivant. You hear the crowd erupt.
Pretty combo, too, with an uppercut and that straight overhand right.
Yeah. We're doing this Apollo Rocky style.
A rare kick in this fight from Sturdivant.
Yeah, it is. Coleman with the takedown. And he's the one on top here. It appears as though the grappling is very close here, the grappling prowess. It's who wants it the most.
You know, and Coleman.
Oh, yeah, now Coleman in mount position.
Straightened out.
Sturdivant making it nasty here, lacing up in the mount position. When you got guys that are tall and lanky like that, it's hard to hold that mount position, but Coleman is tall and lanky for his weight class as well.
You know, even if Coleman doesn't do big damage here, now he's raining down.
Yeah.
And Sturdivant gets him off.
Oh, Sturdivant, yeah.
Using those legs.
But Coleman able to maintain top position, though not mount position.
And what I was going to say is if Coleman remains on top, even if he's not doing damage and isn't overly impressive, he rides that out, and he got the first round of some judges' scorecards. He could win even if he isn't overwhelming.
Absolutely, but you got to think in Austin Coleman's corner, they may be thinking he didn't take the first round. That is do or die here in the third, so it's better that Coleman get in here and maybe get the 10-8, you know, if he's utterly dominant, and maybe, you know, at worst case scenario, they get the draw. You know what I'm saying? Because as a coach, I always think worst case scenario.
Well, one thing for sure is Sturdivant doesn't know what happened in the first round. He's got to get up and change this.
Yeah. Sturdivant was in control completely in that second round, but it's a wild card, and it makes it very exciting here.
Crowd urging the fighters on. Sturdivant from down the road in Fort Oglethorpe, and Coleman coming in from Myrtle Beach.
Oh, wait a minute. We're going to get a stand-up, I believe. Jimmy Neely's not going to let him lay around here.
All right, who can make an impact with the judges in the final 15 seconds? No punch landed yet, and these guys are exhausted. And the clinch along the cage is not going to do it.
Wow. And we go the distance for the first time tonight.
How about that?
Yeah.
So, Casey, as a judge, if you were a ringside judge, who would you give that fight to?
I think it goes 29-28 Austin Coleman. But if they pick a different way, you know, I'm not going to argue it. You know, I mean, it could be a split decision here even.
If for someone that maybe isn't looking at round by round scoring with the judges as is the case in MMA, I bet a lot of people watching it, and I'll finish this point in a second, take us to this replay here.
Oh, well, there you go. You saw Sturdivant landing some nasty shots there. And this was the opening moments of the round. You see Austin Coleman fire back, and then you're going to see Coleman with the takedown here. And there it was. You see him, he gets the takedown, he gets on top, he ends up in mount position, which is a very dominant position here, especially for two grapplers. Both of these guys, you can tell, they're very pedigreed in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and they know if they're laying underneath the mount position that they're losing.
For fans watching on Flow Combat at home and they're watching this fight, they probably saw the most significant strikes land for Sturdivant and think, he was better, I think he won.
Well, I think that Sturdivant had the most dominant moments in the fight because he came really close. But you got to remember that Austin Coleman in the first round, he had the rear mount, and he was close with that choke. I mean, it was right underneath the neck of Sturdivant. Sturdivant was able to ride it out. But, man, but I got to take my hat off to both of these fighters. I think it was a really good technical battle, particularly on the ground.
And both young guys, room for improvement. I mean, they're going to be able to go back, win or lose for both sides and say, hey, we can build off of this. We can get better technically here, here, and here. And for one of these guys, they're going to have those teaching points with a victory.
Yeah, and I don't know that this match could have been, or this fight could have been any better matched. I mean, it was really, really back and forth, and it was a recipe for an exciting matchup that was grappling based.
Third fight of 2017 for Austin Coleman. Andrew Sturdivant with his MMA debut. And we'll see how that Blaylock's IMB camp performs. They're, to my count, Casey, 1-2 on the night so far tonight, with still the main event and Sid Wheeler, one half of the main event, Sid Wheeler taking on Robert Hale from that camp as well, with Sid Wheeler representing. Also Tim Boyle is to come from the Blaylock's IMB camp also. So a big team effort here. Valor Fights 45 in Chattanooga, and judges still working on adding this up. All right, we're going to get the fighters together in the middle of the cage, and we will find out the winner on the judges' scorecards. Will it be Coleman? Will it be Sturdivant? What will we have? Let's go to Jennifer.
After 3 hard-fought rounds, we go to your judges' scorecard for decision. Judge Alexander scores this bout 29-28 red. Judge Doran scores this bout 29-28 blue. And Judge 3, Judge Gwynn, scores this bout 29-28 in favor of your winner by split decision. Out of the red corner, Austin Coleman.